From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kayla Cockrell with today's Free Press Voice Briefing. It's Monday, August 14th, 2023.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. A fighter jet flying in Yankee Air Museum's Thunder over Michigan air show at the Willow Run Airport in Ypsilanti crashed Sunday after 4 p.m. as thousands of spectators, including children, watched in horror. The two aboard ejected before the jet went down, but the plane burst into a raging fireball when it hit the ground near a residential area. The plane, a former Soviet, now Russian MiG-23 aircraft, was doing aerial maneuvers. It was not immediately clear what malfunction led the two aboard to eject and the jet to crash. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating. The pilot and backseater successfully ejected from the aircraft before the crash. Randy Wimbley, a spokesman for the Wayne County Airport Authority, said, while it did not appear they sustained any significant injuries, first responders transported the pair to a nearby hospital as a precaution. The plane, Wimbley said, crashed into the parking lot at the Waverly-on-the-Lake apartments in Bellevue, striking unoccupied vehicles in the apartments complex parking lot. But no one at the apartment complex nor the air show was injured.
For the Detroit Free Press Autos team, I'm Jamie LaRoe. It might be time to head to a dealership showroom again, as new data showed the increase in new car prices is slowing. On Wednesday, Kelley Blue Book released July pricing data. The average price Americans paid for a new car in July was $48,334. That's about $200 higher than it was in the year-ago period. But that is the smallest year-over-year increase in new car prices in the last decade. Also, between January and July, the average transaction prices are down by about $1,300, the largest January to July drop in the past decade. Experts said higher inventory of new cars and increased incentives are helping lower the average transaction prices. In July, the average incentive was about $2,100. That's double what it was a year ago. Just don't count on General Motors increasing discounts, its CFO said Wednesday. The automaker is careful to hold its inventory to match demand.
In other news, from Free Press food writer
Sue Selasky,
Detroit will be in the national spotlight Monday morning when Good Morning America will broadcast live several segments from the city's riverfront and other notable sites. Part of a multi-city tour, an ABC News correspondent will report live for GMA in front of the Detroit Riverwalk's Cullen Plaza on Atwater Street. The broadcast is open to the public, and people can start showing up at 6:45 a.m. at the riverfront location. You can also tune into the broadcast segments during Monday's GMA 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. broadcast. The GMA Nationwide Rise and Shine Tour highlights small businesses and unique attractions in each city from which it is broadcast. The show's multiple Detroit Monday morning segments will highlight 3 local pizza spots, a bike tour business, Ride Detroit, and will celebrate the Motown Museum with a live performance by its Hitsville Next singers. During the riverfront segment, according to GMA, the show will feature music, surprises, and a pizza party on the water, with Aloha Tiki Tours, operators of a tiki-style boat on Detroit waterways.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department, checking in with the Detroit Tigers, who seem to be spinning their wheels a little bit here in the dog days of summer. They just wrapped up a 3-game series in Boston against the Red Sox. They lost 2 of those 3 games, the latter loss coming on Sunday by a score of 6-3. Eduardo Rodriguez, the former left-hander for the Red Sox, now the Tigers ace, struggled a bit in his return to Fenway Park. He gave up 5 runs over 6 innings. Akil Baddoo with a 2-run home run for the Tigers, who are off today and then start a series on Tuesday in Minnesota. The American League Central is led by the Minnesota Twins. They are ahead of the Tigers by 8 games, with the Cleveland Guardians in between.
More stories from the Detroit Free Press. Be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com.